This lesson is about fraction division as ratios and goes along with 6th grade CPM, Chapter 7, Section 2, Lesson 4. In this lesson, we are looking at word problems and seeing how we can write them as ratios, which we're able to then solve. So let's look at this problem together. Marissa is making mini pies. She made 12 cups of pie filling, and each mini pie needs half a cup of filling. How many pies can she make? So we want to do is we want to start with a fraction, and we need to figure out what our numerator is going to be and what our denominator is going to be. So I start with a fraction bar, and it might help you, and I would suggest doing this, especially if it does, but underline what you need to know. So we have 12 cups, and we're talking about each mini pie, and we have half a cup of filling, and we need to know how many pies. Okay, so here we're looking at different labels and quantities. And we need to determine our numerator. We need to determine how many cups go into a pie or how many pies go into a cup. In this case, it should be fairly straightforward that we're talking about how many cups go into a pie. And then we're able to fill in our numbers. Okay, and I'm going to use pie and mini pie interchangeably here. Okay, so we have 12 cups talking about the filling, and we don't know how many pies that can go into, but we do know, and that's why I'm writing the equal sign here, that there is half a cup of filling that goes into one mini pie. And I'm adding the mini here. I should really put it on this side as well. Okay, and I know that it's one mini pie because it's saying each, and each is referring to one. Okay, and from here, I'm able to figure out half a cup goes into 12 cups how many times. And that's where the ratio helps. When we set it up this way, we already have this in unit rate. Okay, so we can look at, say, what do I need to multiply this unit rate by in order to get 12 cups? Or the inverse of, I can divide what I'm given by another part that I'm given, in this case, 12 divided by 1/2, and then we can solve it from there. So I set this problem up as 12 divided by 1/2, because I know 12 cups and 1/2, and multiplied it by the reciprocal, which is one of the lessons we talked about the past day or two, and that's a super giant 1, and then it works out so that I have 24 mini pies. If you don't remember how to do this process, please go back and watch the other video. Let's try another problem. Nate is buying apples at the store, and the apples cost $1.25 per pound. How much will 5 pounds of apples cost? Please write this on your own in ratio form, and then go ahead and solve it, and then I'll show you how I did it. The first thing that I did is I started with my ratio, okay, and I need to know there's $1.25 per pound, and remember we said that per can be this fraction bar here. And then we also know that we have 5 pounds, and we're looking for the cost. So we have $1.25 per pound, and we're looking at what it's going to be for 5 pounds. And I know that to get from 1 pound to 5 pounds, I just multiply by 5. So then I can take my $1.25, multiply it by 5, and that gives me $6.25, which is then my solution. Setting it up in giant 1 format, it might look like this, where you have $1.25 per pound. Oops, forgot to label it there. Multiply it by your giant 1, and you get $6.25 over 5 pounds. Try one more problem on your own. Jax passes the ball to his teammates an average of 45 times in 6 games. On average, how many times did he pass the ball in each game? Okay, and again, start with your ratio, write that out, because your numerator and your denominator are going to be the most important part first. Okay, when I solved it, I started with my ratio. I know that there are 45 passes in a game. They're not 6 games and 45 passes. Okay, so 45 passes per game, 6 games, and it's the same as however many passes for 1 game. And I took the first part and moved it down, and to get from 6 to 1, I know I need to divide by 6 or multiply by 1/6. And to get 1 game, 45 divided by 6 gives me 7 3/6, which I can then simplify down to 7 1/2.